another Totally Flawed movie review. I remember that title, remember that name, because if you keep remembering it, you'll get hallucinations, and then you'll die. So anyway, that's a bit of a clue what this video review's about. And the review is a film called Bye Bye Man, Bye Bye Baby, Baby Goodbye. And this film got not the best reviews, which is true. I remember watching Cool Dude's video and he was saying it was terrible and it was bad, and I was thinking to myself, it's probably a bad film. And what can I say about this film? What can I say about it? I get to that in a bit. Okay, right, let's read about what the film is about. And okay, right, people commit unthinkable acts every day. Time and again, we grapple to understand what drives a person to do terrible things. But what if all the questions we've asking are wrong? What if the source of evil is not a matter of what, but who? From the producer of The Strangers Oculus comes Bye Bye Man, a chilling horror thriller that exposes the evil behind the most unspeakable acts committed by man and women, of course. And three college friends stumble across the horrific origins of the Bye Bye Man. They discover there only one way to avoid his curse. Don't think of it, don't say it. But once the Bye Bye Man gets inside your head, it takes control, and is there a way to survive its possession? Stacey Title, directed by. This film was a very interesting movie. It kind of reminds me of, I suppose, Candyman, the film like that, and Nightmare on Elm Street films like, because it's kind of like a supernatural force. But yeah, see, I wasn't even expecting if this film was going to be good or bad. I wasn't really expecting much apart from a film with scares and stuff and supernatural force, good characters, maybe good characters or bad characters who can't act. But this film was a bit of a surprise because the acting was fine in the film. Okay, right, let's just explain what happens in the film, certain parts. At the beginning of the film is set in 1969. You see this guy getting a bit not shooting people and saying that, who else have you told about this supernatural force, the Bye Bye Man? So he's going around killing people. Of course, this was, like I said, it's in 69. Of course, and the film kind of fast forwards years later, introduces characters that who move into this house, right, of course. This guy and his girlfriend, this other guy, his friend, and of course they're all friends. Of course, his girlfriend, they're all like that. They're all friends. His girlfriend's friends with this guy, and his friends with that. But later on in the film, no, something happens in the film where one of the characters finds this light. No. What happens in it? Some creepy things happen in this film. I was like, what the hell? There's one part, this girl's on the bed, right, and her boyfriend's in this like small little toilet, and this bathroom, whatever. And this part was creepy because you see the door kind of like shut on its own, right, and she's kind of like, what the and so what happens, it kind of made me jump a bit. It does make me jump a few times, this film does. It's not like as scary as The Conjuring, but it's endurable. It's one of those movies that, like I said, I wasn't sure it was going to be any good. I'm glad I bought it now, and I'll get to that part in a bit. It didn't cost me much to buy. How I get it? Buy. Buy. Like I said, it's this supernatural force. If you think about him too much, he goes after you, and that's an interesting concept. I mean, that's quite scary. You think about something scarier, and it comes after you. Anyway, so later on in the film, one of the guy in it thinks, and something happens where there's this coin, right, he puts it into this drawer, right, it keeps dropping out of time, and he looks into the drawer, and there's some kind of writing in the drawer. It's like, don't think about him, don't say his name, whatever, don't tell anyone or something, blah. Stuff like that. It's like all in that circles there in the drawer, and of course that puts it in his head, and it's quite, I'm like, Jesus Christ. So it spreads among the group. This girl who thinks she is psychic or something like, who's psychic and stuff. She can sense things, and then it spreads among the group, and his girlfriend, his friend, and they start hallucinations, see things and stuff like that. Like the girl, his friend, I think he has sex with this girl in it, And of course, when he's in the corridor, he sees maggots in her hair. He must have had sex for hell. And he starts seeing maggots and stuff in her hair, and the girl is like seeing his friend naked, half naked and stuff. The boyfriend, her boyfriend, he's like the main character in it. He gets jealous about those two. He starts getting jealous and seeing things and stuff like that, hearing things. You see his dog in it, right? And this girl goes up. It's one part in the film. This girl goes upstairs, like this little girl, right? And this scene was kind of creepy actually. I thought, what the hell was that? I couldn't figure out what it was at first. Something coming out the door. But anyway, she goes towards the door, and then something else pops up at the side of the door. Like comes out the door, and I think, what the hell is that? It's kind of like a dog. It's like a big dog. I'm like, what the hell? Like I said, all that seeing things. It's kind of creepy actually when you watch it, but there's one part that kind of bugged me, and I thought this is kind of stupid the way and this kind of irritated me a bit because it showed it in the daylight instead of. It looks when you do see the depth. Okay, right? Because let's get to this part where this guy's in bed, right? And you do see this kind of. You see this long jacket, right? And you see someone like standing in the corner looking at him, and it's kind of creepy. And you're just like, what the hell? And you see like you kind of like the bye-bye man in the shadow and stuff, but then when he puts the light in, it vanishes. That scene was creepy. I mean, I've had that way. And when I was younger, right, sitting in the dark on your own, right, in a bedroom where it's like a big bedroom, and it's dark and you can't see anything. You think you can hear things and stuff like that. If you ever had those days, it's creepy. No, it's not as bad. I used to sit and sweat in bed. You know, one time I was in my bed, right. I've had it a few times. But I was living out the other house, right, and it's water my hot, right. I'm start panicking because I'm like, I'm thinking about creepy stuff, scary. Because you're in the bedroom by yourself, right, it's the worst thing. And then you're sweating, your sweat's pouring off and your heart's beating fast. And you think there's someone down there watching you and stuff like that. It's, getting freaking goosebumps thinking about it now. So anyway, let's get back to the film. Like I said, it's like a thing where it spreads. It's like a virus where if you spread it around, if you tell someone, they get infected or something. Or like a cold, I suppose, like a common cold, but it's the killer cold. Of course, the kid in it starts to try and unravel the mystery of the bye-bye man. Because he's telling his friends not to tell anyone. Don't tell anyone about the bye-bye man, of course. But then he ends up in this library with this woman, of course. She finds out about it, about the bye-bye man. Then so it happens to her later in the film. Of course, he's got a brother in it who turns up a few times in the film. It's got her from the Matrix. She's in it. Right, I'm going to give my honest opinion about this. Like I said, I'm going to give my honest opinion about this film. Because I wasn't really expecting. I thought it would be like, it'll be alright, boring. It'll be enjoyable. But then again, I had this strange feeling in my head that I'm going to enjoy it, funny enough. Because I heard not the best reviews about this film, but I was sitting there watching and thinking, this film is not bad at all. It's like, I can say there's certain parts of the film where you see the bye-bye man. Of course, one part where you see him in the daylight, and it kind of ruins it a little bit because it looks creepier when it's dark. But you see him like in the daylight, and it kind of ruins the scariness because you see a flashback of you see like someone telling a story about, and then it's back to the past again and stuff like that. And you need to, like I said, you need to watch it. It's really enjoyable. I enjoy it. Some of the effects looks a bit hokey. Some of the effects, when you see the dog and stuff like that. It's not the best special effects. They're not bad effects, but not the best special effects. They're not Marvel effects, but not bad though. The effects in this film. Quite like the girl in it. She's quite nice. His girlfriend. There's one part where he's getting a bit paranoid, right? So he goes back to the house, right? And he's always grunting. He can grunting and moaning, with his friend and his girlfriend, of course. Then you see, like I said, he gets paranoid. He's getting paranoid, of course. Paranoid. She's like, she's got some kind of weird flu or something like that. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It's like one of those movies that can get terrible reviews you can enjoy. You think to yourself, well, it's not that bad. Like I said, okay, right. Like I said, it's just a thing where it's a virus. It's like a kind of virus, like a supernatural. It's like a supernatural force that can spread to a person if you mention his name or something like And there's certain parts in the film where you see his train in it. It's weird. I can't understand the train part at all. That's the only thing that's bugging me. It's like, what the hell's that train thing I'm doing? Anything. You keep seeing this train all the time. There's some parts that make no sense, much sense about the film, but the performances are pretty solid in the film. And when you do see the Batman, it's pretty creepy actually. When you see him in the dark and you see him like pointing his finger in certain parts like that. Jesus Christ, creepy as hell. Yeah, I enjoyed it, to be honest. It's got some creepy scares in it. It's not as... It's like a film that's holding back a bit with the scares, you know. They say, no, we don't want to make it too scary. But that's why it falls like certain parts, because this film could have been really terrifying, super terrifying. Potential there straight away. But I still enjoyed it. It's like one of those movies that can get shitty reviews, but you can enjoy full stop. Someone can give it a 2-star rating. Someone else can give it a 10-star rating. So, or an 8. So yeah, some of the effects are good. Some of the, not, I won't say they're the best I've ever seen, but they're not that bad actually. Some of it, the effects. The Batman's quite creepy when you see him in the dark. It's quite, you know, it looks like him off Harry Potter, the bald-headed, slap-head guy. It's a bit like him, slightly bit. Actually, I would have to say he's more creepy than him. Some great, you know, twists in the film. Like the last part was quite tragic, and I saw them, so I won't say too much. Some of the performances are pretty solid in the film. And an interesting movie because, I mean, I've seen a lot of horror films, you know, Candyman and Nightmare on Elm Street, and this kind of has that kind of like feel about it, you know, like it's because in the Elm Street films, you always, when you watch the film, they always mention this guy called Freddy Krueger, and this film's kind of similar. They mention him, and of course he comes hunting for you, so it's like that. So good effects, some decent effects, not the best. Some quite creepy moments in it, not as scary as The Conjuring or the Annabelle films. Solid performances. Some decent characters in it, after Matrix, and you don't see much of her. She's in it a few times, and that's it. And I like the part in the police station where, after one of the characters gets killed by a train, right, she's like telling him, asking him to tell, you know, what happened. And of course, he's trying to, you know, pushing her back, saying, "Dad, I can't, you know, if you got a kid and stuff, and if I tell you, you put their life in danger." And of course, he does the right thing. And she's kind of like, huh. So yeah, so he's telling her, "Please don't tell me to tell you his name," you know, which is smart of him, because if he spreads that round, right, you know, of course, if that happens, then that person would have to die, you know. So it's kind of like at the end of Cure, that you find out in the films that you have to kill that other person, so that they don't spread it. Because you see at the beginning of the film with the guy at the beginning with the shotgun killing people, because he said, "Who you've been telling just to kill the freaking." Supposed to kill the virus, the cancer. Now that was a good scene in the police station. I like that scene because he's telling her, what does it say? He's saying that if your daughter or your kid asks you how's your day, and you tell, and if they're like, you know, if you tell them the truth about your day, about, you know, death and stuff like, would you, about the nasty stuff that you do on your job, you know, as a cop or something like. Murder and stuff like, would you tell him? And it's kind of like that, and he has a point, and then she's kind of like, huh, yeah. So she starts to believe him, of course. And the last part's very interesting. I'm really hoping to do a sequel. Like, it's not a perfect film, but I enjoy it. I really hope they make a sequel, because I think it's one of those films that can have a better sequel, a bit like the Ouija board film. They made first one got shit on, but the second one got fantastic, not bad reviews at all. I enjoyed the second one. The project is more of a prequel, actually. It's a prequel. So yeah. So I liked it. So the review. Okay, right. I'm gonna cut this review short now. The rating I'm gonna give the film is an 8 out of 10. Yeah, I said 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it. Some decent scares in it. I like this concept of it about a supernatural force. If you get him in his head, if you get his name in your head, you're screwed. There's no way out. Of course, you know how to spread it around. So yeah. So 8 out of 10 for Batman. I'm glad I brought it now. I enjoyed it. So yeah. And even like my other reviews, by the way. So anyway, people, remember to subscribe to my channel, and if anyone if you ever got the Bye Man stuck in you, don't tell anyone because it never ends well. If you watch that film, it never ends well. So so have a nice evening, take care, and have a nice day. Bye bye.